I go back to the day that I was trying to run away from this, and you probably don't even know it. Propheticon, the first time we had it at when you got close. You hear me?
Oh, you talking about that guy
And
in light.
and you sang over me. Oh,
What
I
I sung?
surround us in this place
I sure
and
did.
breathe
Y'all
new
don't
life
remember none of
within
that
us.
stuff.
Send a. I was really down. Oh, don't
Really?
cry. Oh, I was so down. Ooh, nope. Ah! 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 Who cut onions?
Well, I was feeling mighty bad.
Mighty low. I was in my color purple moment. You see me with them purple. Look, you had them purple clothes. And Pastor Gates, I didn't even know you knew my name. Like let's start.
Really? Girl, please. I remember the first time I came to the Connect. You walked up to me and said, "Hey, you need some water?"
Yeah, I did because you spoke to us that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I did.
I didn't know you then, but I just remember you walking up to me and you was like, "Hey, Pastor Gates, I'm Jessica. Do you need anything?" And I was just like, "No, I'm good."
You don't ever need anything.
Mm-hmm.
You so chill. you like one of the like I really like I got this friend. Oh, I'm gonna get you to do me a favor before you leave. Like I really want you to send her video and just say, hey, she loves
Really?
you. Pastor Gates,
Who?
her name is Raquel. She
Okay.
saw you at the last Propheticon.
Uh-huh.
And she right now she lives in Tallahassee,
Okay.
Florida.
I'm going to Florida in March to preach.
Oh, okay.
She
What
may
part?
not be that close to me though. I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, I think. So I think Tallahassee.
She probably would see the difference.
Space around it though.
Yeah, when I say she loves you,
really,
she loves you. Your message just changed her. She was like, she's so real and so transparent. And so I'm gonna get you to do a message for her because she loves.
And that's what I'm saying here, like with this. That's what I meant when I was an open book. Like, no, nothing is off limits to me.
Yeah.
When I say I'm every woman, I really be meaning it. Like,
Yeah.
every facet of a woman's life, I probably experienced, except maybe like a senior citizen. But anything else, I mean, I'm for real. Like, I've been married, I've been divorced. You know what I'm saying? I'm a widow. I've been the other woman. I've been every woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when I say I've been every woman, I really do mean that. And I'm an open book, in that story. And that even me saying I'm the other woman is something I never would say because I really see myself coined like as a good girl. And I am. That don't mean I'm not a good girl, but so I found myself in a situation, and it's a testament that it can happen to anybody. You can get low enough. You know what I'm saying? You can, and so that's why I'm the way that I am, because I realize that I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? If life beats you down enough, baby, you'll wake up and find yourself in spaces and places that you promise yourself you'll never be in. But when I say I'm every woman, I really do mean that. I've been a single mom. I'm serious. Single. I've been every woman. Really and truly. Like, only woman I ain't been, like I said, is a senior citizen woman. But heck, I'm on my way.
But you look good. You gonna be fine as all get out.
I ain't much far from it now.
Listen, okay, so I think we didn't press the record button.
I mean, we in now.
We in there.
We in now.
But I do not. I gotta honor the woman guy because she talking and y'all may or may not know. But if you know, you in for a wonderful treat. I know your TPC family finna just shut it down. We finna have alerts all day on this. Finna be alerted up. Listen, welcome to Just Ask the Podcast, where we create a safe space for influencers to decompress, have fun, and just ask. It's your girl Jessica S. Smith, and Desiree is over there. She got the mic today. Speak to the folks, Desiree.
Hey.
She don't have a camera, but listen, we have none other than Andrea Pastor. I'm say Pastor because that's the honor, but Pastor Andrea Gates. Some of our Birmingham people might know her as Lynn. I know y'all, but if you know Lynn, you know her. If you know Lynn, you know her. Man, she is an author. I said she's a pastor. She is just a world-renowned being. Like she talking about being a woman. She's that chick. Like you are.
Oh wow.
You are literally that chick. I learned who you were through Coach D,
Mm-hmm.
and she honors you. Like she,
Hey, D.
hey, Coach D. And when she started Propheticon, you have been at every Propheticon. And when I first experienced you, I was like, who is this lady?
Yeah,
like,
it was real.
who is this lady? Like, where she come from? And then when I found out that you were out of Birmingham, I was like, how did I not know about this lady? You oily. You oily. Okay, so if you ever experienced Pastor Gates, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you just get in the room where she at, and she gonna serve every day. Okay, this ain't no amp. It's the truth. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for
thank
having
you so
me.
much
Thank you for having me.
coming on. And let me not. I just disrespected her because Desiree, her producer too. Shout out to Her Lounge.
The Her Lounge
Shout out to Her Lounge.
podcast.
It's 4 of them. It's 4 of them on platform. Y'all be talking, baby. Y'all be talking, okay?
Your 4 best new girlfriends.
Listen, they get surreal, okay? And I love the perspective on that platform. So y'all, if y'all not following that platform, y'all go ahead and we're gonna have that all linked up because baby, it's all and it's real on there, especially that Miss Paulette. She don't care what she say. Listen, how you feeling today, Miss Pastor?
I'm good.
I said Miss Pastor.
Good.
Which one I'm gonna do?
I'm
Which
good.
one me
It
call
don't
you?
matter. You know I don't care.
I ain't calling you Lynn.
I really don't care. I really don't care for real, you know?
Call her Pastor Lynn.
No,
I'm
I really don't like this.
I know.
Pastor and Lynn. I don't think Lynn knew that she was gonna be a pastor.
She didn't. She didn't. She ain't want it.
No. I mean today.
That's
This very same hour.
Listen. You carry a lot of hats. You're in real estate. You're a creative. You're an author. Congratulations on your new book.
Thank you.
Marked. Can you talk to us a little bit back there? Like, I hadn't personally read the book yet, but I know it's real early. And this is not your first book, is it?
No, I
what
think it's like
this?
number 6.
Okay.
I think this number
You've
6.
been writing.
Yeah, I've been writing for a while, but I Marked is about, I just finished a big project with our church of completing a new space that we purchased.
Congratulations on that.
And so I'd already started Marked, before that, but then like I couldn't finish it, and I understood why, because I had to put this experience of being a woman, leading a church by myself, you know what I'm saying, and doing some very blueprint type things, in the South, being Black,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, single, all of that different stuff. So, it just coincided with everything that I was talking about. There's a difference between being called and chosen. Chosen has a different mark on it. So when I say marked, that's what I'm talking about. And the life of a chosen person is often marked by a lot of trial, by a lot of warfare, you know what I'm saying, by a lot of rejection, a lot of process. Often we find ourselves saying, like, why my life got to be so hard?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. And so I just kind of walked through the things that God literally taught me on this walk, and it's just like 8 things that being chosen has taught me. And that's true. It's true. And I mean, literally in my office one day, God just said, write. And I started writing, and he said, number what I tell you. And when I got through, I had 8 things. And he said, okay, 8 things being chosen has taught you. And that's how that came. I didn't even have marked then. I got marked later when I started really realizing, like, it's like you got a dagger, like a spot, like a target on your back.
That's really so. Let's tap into that a little bit, because some people, we claim a lot of things like, oh, I'm chosen, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. How does somebody really identify that they're chosen, and how do they identify what they're chosen for?
Well, I say this is me. This is the gospel according to Andrea. Now somebody else is this is the gospel according to Andrea, book 1 chapter. I'm just kidding. But
she a comedian
it's
too, y'all.
like this. To me, first of all, you always know there's something different about you. That's number 1. Number 2, you never fit. You never fit. You never fit. That's another thing. People say, I never fit in. No, like, y'all really do be fitting in. I'm talking about people who really don't fit in.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you in a crowded room And it's when I say you don't fit in, don't mean that you eyeball out sitting off somewhere by yourself. That's not what I'm talking about. You can be in a space, but mentally you don't connect to the space. You know what I'm saying? So, that is one thing. But being chosen to me is something that you're marked from birth. You know what I'm saying? It's like you set aside, chosen by God, and I love to use the word cycle breaker. You really are. That's the thing that distinguishes you to me, is that you're called to break cycles in your bloodline. The patterns.
Yeah.
And when you're called to do that, that means you're the first person to go through the matrix. You're the first person to create the opening. And if I'm the one that's creating the opening, I'm gonna get the most scars. Because I'm creating something that hasn't been created. I'm opening a portal that hasn't been opened. So that means I got to figure out how big it need to be. I got to figure out the circumference, length, and breadth of it. But my life figures that out. It's not about like measurements, natural measurements, but it's spiritual measurements, that other people after me will be able to go through, but they won't incur the same damage, scars, hurt, rejection. I am literally creating a space for other people. And and you say about being chosen, how do you know? Most times is what we don't talk about is you're chosen to snatch other people out of what you survived.
Whoa.
That's it.
Oh, you.
Whatever that is. It could be multiple things.
So when we ask the question like, why me? You just literally answered the question is because you ain't snatched somebody out of something you ain't been snatched yourself out of or been experienced with God. And so at what point in your life, because you've been through a lot, like if I can remember well, your grandparents raised you, right? And so at what point, we can go into your story a little bit, but at what point did you realize that I am chosen? And then when did you start to really embrace that? Because it's one thing to know you chosen, and another thing to just really embrace the fact of it. Because embracing the trials, it ain't for the faint, and you ain't faint.
I've been knowing something and becoming aware is two different things. Because you can know something and never admit what you know. But you can't be aware and not walk in something. I've known for a very long time that I was chosen. So from a young child, I was always different. But becoming aware, probably just a couple of years ago. I'm talking about 2, 3, maybe.
That's surprising.
If that. Yeah, becoming aware, because this is the thing. You can be chosen, you can know it, but when you become aware, you got to settle in it. You have to settle in that this is who I am. I can't make any apologies for it anymore. And when I become aware, then that's where the decision comes for me to decide whether I'm going to do this, or I'm not. Because the moment you become aware, it becomes life and death. It don't become life and death really until you become aware. When you become aware, it becomes life and death. Then I got to decide either I'm going to live my life my way and be average and mediocre and never fulfill anything for real, because my fulfillment, because I'm marked, only comes from doing that which I was birthed in the earth to do, which is my destiny, which is my calling, which is, my purpose, all of that, but me being comfortable yesterday, but
listen,
and being aware, I think by losing my husband brought another level of awareness that I didn't have before then. I knew it, but his death brought a different level of awareness.
I honor you for your openness about the transition that you had with the look. Because listen, you was preaching the other Sunday, and you was talking about the man of God was paying bills, and you didn't know how to pay bills. Like the man of God took care of you.
Yeah.
Like same grace.
Yeah. And let me say this: I knew how to pay them. I just hadn't paid them in our relationship.
You didn't have to.
Yeah, because prior to, like I said, I did everything. You know what I'm saying? I knew. But once I got in this relationship, when I came in the relationship, we decided, we're going to get married. It was a, hey, I sold my house,
Mm-hmm.
moved into his house because his thing is always was I needed things to be where I can take care of everything. That if something happened, so that's kind of how we started like that.
Mm.
So yeah,
He set the
yeah.
tone, the
He set the
expectation.
tone, man. I mean, when I tell you he set the tone, he raised the bar.
The
He
bar is
did.
high. So don't be
Yeah,
coming for her.
yeah.
Don't be coming for her if you don't, the bar is high, okay? She made it very clear on the platform. And TPC ain't gonna have this. They her bodyguards in real life.
Oh,
Shout out
yeah.
to TPC,
Oh, they
the Purpose
crazy.
Church in Birmingham, Alabama. Look, they crazy for real. Like
Yeah.
your tribe,
Mm-hmm.
like with your partners, as you would say,
Mm-hmm.
they go ham for
Mhm.
you. But I don't want to. I don't want to bypass this question because it's so good. So as a single woman, I've
Mhm.
never been married. I'm
Mhm.
32 years old,
Mhm.
and I'm learning my purpose. Right, I'm
Mhm.
learning like what God is calling me, and I'm starting to learn how to embrace that and be, like
Mhm.
you say, the word aware. So what advice would you have for women? Because we talked about you being every woman, right? What advice do you have for women that are about to that look to be married and they're powerhouses themselves? Like, because it seems like it's a difficult
It is.
transition. I had somebody, a man, an older man, tell me that I couldn't walk in my calling and be married.
Yeah, you can, because if you would look at the book of if you would look at Deborah, if you look not the book of, if you look at Deborah, and it's God is so specific in what he does. He doesn't do anything just to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He makes sure that it is written that she was Lapidoth's wife,
That's so good.
right? It talks about her and it said Lapidoth's wife. We don't hear about him no more. But God wanted you to know that she was somebody's wife. Not only was she somebody's wife, she was a judge. She was a prophet. She was a strategist. Then we look on down in the book. She was a psalmist. You see her singing and worshiping, right?
Yeah.
So he was letting you know that to be it all is possible. Okay, that's what I take from that. But it's like this. I'm Pastor A, but when I was married, when I came home, I wasn't Pastor A, right? I was Sean's wife, right?
That's so
And so
good.
Pastor A hat came off, Sean's wife came on. Okay, so you got to know your role. You know what I'm saying? Know what you play. I wasn't in the house pastoring. I'm somebody's
Say that
wife.
again, because I think sometimes we, especially as Black women,
Yeah.
sometimes we're so used to being in the power mode,
Yeah.
because we do a lot of things ourselves that we do not know the art of transition.
Yeah, and the myth is that we don't know how to submit. And that's not true. But I tell anybody, you single, you're a powerhouse. This is my thing now. Master individuality. I say that so much. Master individuality.
What does
Because
that
if you
mean?
don't master being an individual, being happy within yourself, satisfied within yourself, and your happiness is not predicated on another individual, you don't need another individual to make you happy. Like I tell people now, whoever gets me next gets the best version of me. My happiness comes prepackaged. I don't need you to make me happy. I come happy. You can add to my happiness, okay? But that didn't happen overnight. It happened when I learned. But this is the crazy thing about it. I've been married twice. I was married once, divorced. My second marriage, I lost my husband, all right? Okay? So even though I've been married twice, in neither one of those marriages did I enter them mastering individuality. Whoever gets me next gets the best version of me. Because my life has taught me some things. My process, my pain has taught me some things. I've grown, I've matured. I'm a totally different person. I know what matters. I lost enough now to know what priority is, what's important. You know what I'm saying? And so I've mastered individuality. I don't need anybody to complete me. I'm coming whole. I'm coming happy. You understand? And that's what I tell any single woman. Master individuality. Be happy by yourself. You understand?
Yeah.
And don't be saying, oh, somebody complete me. No one should complete you. You should be whole. They should be whole. Y'all come together and make a whole thing.
Yeah,
Right?
that's so good.
And that's really how it should be. But then also, I would tell any powerful woman, don't dim your light to make anybody else feel comfortable. You know, whoever God has for you, he going to be able to handle you. He's going to be able to handle you. He's not going to be jealous of you, you know. So that's one of your indicators. You know, if you coming over here trying to turn my watts down on my light, I know you're not the one. And that doesn't mean that I don't know how to submit. That doesn't mean that I don't know how to be quiet. That doesn't mean I don't know my role. But if you showing up on the scene and you trying to minimize me, that's strike one. That's strike one. You know, so that's what I would say. Master individuality, be happy within yourself, and do not dim your light for anybody.
That's so good. I'm very practical. And so, what are the steps that need to be taken to master the individuality, and how do you know that you've come to that point?
I know that I've come to that point because I'm so happy by myself. Like, not, and when I say by myself, I'm not even thinking single. I'm just talking about I'm happy with me. I wake up happy. And it doesn't mean everything in my life is right.
Ooh.
I just have a joy that I've tapped into that's different than anything that I've ever experienced. I'm so consistent. My mood's so consistent. I don't care what goes on. My mood is so consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think you can't find mastering individuality has to be a byproduct of confidence.
That's so good.
And confidence only comes from God. I can't give it to you. Nobody else can give it to you. It comes from the presence and relationship and exchange with God. He makes you comfortable with you. How does he do that? Because he is the manufacturer. He knows who you are, what he put in you, what it's for, what's the purpose that it's supposed to play out and accomplish. So that's what I say. Number one, you can't do it. And I don't mean to be religious and churchy, but I'm just being honest. You got to know who you are in God first, because that's where your identity is. Identity found in anything else is a huge mistake. God is the one who identifies you. Become safe in who you are. That's the number one thing. And it may take counseling, because let's be practical.
Yeah.
It may take counseling because a lot of us have unhealed trauma.
Yeah.
A lot of us got stuff that went on in our lives. Very few of our houses were houses that wasn't dysfunctional. I don't even care if you had two parents.
Yeah.
There's some dysfunction in every household. So, healing, counseling. I tell anybody, if you got past trauma, you got stuff in your life that you have not dealt with, deal with that, because you can't master individuality with a bunch of weight and trash from the past. You got to get that out. So that would be the very first thing that I say, and making sure that your relationship with God is very solid. Not religion, relationship with God is very solid, because from him is going to come everything that has to do with your identity. He going to make you okay with you. Right? He's going to make you okay with you. And when he make you okay with you, out of that bursts individuality. And knowing I'm powerful as an individual. I don't need anybody to make me powerful. Now, we can come together and be more powerful.
Yeah.
But I understand the power that I stand in as an individual. I understand as a single woman what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about my mind. Because I'm anointed enough that if you give me anything, when I give it back to you, it ain't going to be like what you gave it to me.
Hello.
I know my mind is worth $1 million if I didn't have no money in the bank. You understand? That's what I know about me. When I show up in your life, ain't nothing in your life going to be the same. Your children ain't going to be the same. Your mama ain't going to be the same. Ain't nothing going to be the same, because I understand who I am. I am genuine. My heart intent is so pure towards people. Man, I know. And I'm not finna give this to just anybody. I work too hard to get here.
I work too hard.
I work too hard to get here. So yeah. Stand in who you are unapologetically. One thing about it, it will be a deterrent to who don't need to be there. And it'll be a call to who's supposed to be there. That's one thing about it. That confidence shields you. That's what we don't realize.
Wait, no. Pastor Gay, please, wait. You taking a fast. You taking.
Listen.
We on I-59 right now.
Listen.
Going to I-20.
Listen.
Like Whoa, she said confidence is the shield.
It does.
So when we people like, oh, you stuck up or you full of yourself. No, I'm confident because you don't understand.
I'm aware. I'm aware of who I am. And when you become aware, awareness is a journey. You don't just arrive there in one day. Awareness comes from pain, process, rejection, failure. You went through success, wins, losses. It comes from so many different things. So when I arrive at being aware, I'm not finna let you take that away from me. You know what I'm saying? I know who I'm like. No, like I really know who I am now. I really know who I am, and I'm a whole blessing. And I'm not finna let anybody minimize that. And that ain't got nothing to do with looks. That ain't got nothing to do with all of this superficial stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the posture of my heart, the intent of my heart. Now, everything else is extra. And we thank God for the extra.
Listen,
right?
Don't we?
Right, yeah. We thank God for the extra. You know, let's be real. We want that extra. Hallelujah. You know? But the most important thing is being aware of who y'all. Confidence does one or two things. It attracts or the real detracts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, yeah, cocky. No, I'm not cocky. I know for sure I'm not cocky. Yeah. I'm just aware. You know, and if you bothered by it, then you're not my person. It's just that simple. You're not my person, right?
Man, yeah. So
first of all, before Desiree started talking, this her pastor. This Desiree pastor, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Desiree, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, self-awareness is a journey, right? Yeah. And sometimes you don't realize where you are or how far you come until you've come into certain situations, right? And so literally just this week, I had one of my little clients. She's 11, right? So she comes in. I was like, how's your day? She's like, it's okay. I was like, what made it okay versus a great day? You know, I'm always like, a great day. She was like, you know, just drama. I was like, what kind of drama? You got into 6th grade? What's going on? So then she said something about her boyfriend. No, I mentioned something about her boyfriend, right? She's like, well, when you gonna get a boyfriend? And I was like, when the Lord sent him. And she was like, that's all you talk about. And I was like, what you mean? Jesus, that's all you talk about. And before, I would have been like, oh, man, you know, like, oh, I don't want to be talking about Jesus too much. Like, you know, I don't want to offend nobody, even though she's just 11. But I was like, yeah, I mean, I love the Lord. Like, you know, so then I was like, I just started to tell us, like, I really ask him and incorporate him in everything that I do. Like, I ask him questions, you know, like, what we wearing today? You know, should I talk to this person? X, Y. She's like, oh, okay. I said, yeah, so next time you and your little boyfriend or you and your friends or whatever it is, just ask the Lord what you should do about it. So for me, that just showed me a better level of confidence that I'm stepping into with myself and who I am and who I am in God. Like, even though she was only 11, you know what I'm saying? But still, he gave me that opportunity to really be able to show me at that moment.
That's so good. That's so good. Is good. What I heard you just say too, though, in correlation to what you just said is, we're talking about womanhood, right? There is a sacrifice that we have to make and a decision, mainly the decision to make to live a consecrated life. And a consecrated life creates the confidence of God. Mm-hmm. And let me ask you this. As a woman, what do you think keeps us from that consecrated life? So that we can build confidence in God.
Because many times when it comes to God, we sometimes focus too much on what we're giving up and not on what we gain. And that's just the truth. Anything that you cannot be consistent about, anything, whether it's exercising, whether it's eating right, whether it's God, whether it's don't call that man no more, whatever it is that you can't be consistent about, you're struggling with consistency because what you're giving up looks like more than what you're going to gain. Ooh. And until you see God as a greater gain, you're not going to live a consecrated life, right? Because a consecrated life has to be a choice followed by corresponding actions, right, that keep you consecrated. Because you don't just wake up and be consecrated. You know, there's things you have to put in place to remain consecrated. Everything with God is maintenance. Right? So you got to be consistent. So there's with anything. If I can't do something, or if I can't be consistent in exercising, it's because I have not yet got the revelation that me giving up helps me gain more.
This is so
right.
good.
I'm too busy thinking about, because I can't eat chicken, or I'm too busy thinking about, oh, I got to get up early. I'm too busy thinking about what I'm giving up versus what I'm gaining. And until what I'm gaining in my mind outweighs what I'm giving up, I'm never going to live that kind of life.
This is so good. And I got a good example for that, because literally I just told Desiree, I'll share this with you. So at the end of last year, I told the Lord I wasn't going to do two things, right? I said, okay, God, I'm going to submit these two things to you. One of the things was drinking, right? It's not like I, was out just so drunk or whatever like that. But I love a little good wine. Winking out from Aldi is on point. You know what I'm saying? I learned Merlot is my drink. Okay. I got that. Okay. But this year I was speaking with a friend, and she told me, just make the decision, right? And I was scared to make the decision. I felt like I was losing already. Like, I was the black sheep. I didn't have friends. I've always been having to compete for people to stay with me. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, I was conforming to others versus making people inspired, like inspiring people to just live a life of Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of teeter-tottering. And so I made the decision last year, and I told my accountability, I was like, hey, I'm not going to be drinking this year. And I gave them the other things. And they were like, okay, supportive, right? So last night I went to a gathering and celebrating. Of course, they had that stuff there. You know what I'm saying? They had that stuff.
It was looking at me.
I'm a brown girl, and they had a lot of brown. And so and if y'all judging me, go talk to your mama. But they had that, and normally I'm reactive to it, right? My response is, cup, because I know how to manage it. But even though I know how to manage it, my commitment to God will outweigh the fact that I knew what I could manage. And so it literally did not bother me to just say, oh, I'm finna mix me some strawberry lemonade from Simply Southern, Simply Made, and some Sprite. It was so good. I enjoyed my little Rotel dip and everything with a non-alcoholic beverage. And I left there, and I called Desiree, and I was like, man, I'm so proud of me. And that was probably the greatest reward, because for one, nobody pressured me. And when we think about it, when we make a decision on something, you really don't feel pressure, because it was your decision, and you stand on your decision. And a lot of times we think that pure pressure is pure pressure. You can't peer pressure me into something I done decided.
Right.
Like, I done decided not to drink. So you can't either you come with me. Like, my friends for my birthday, it was like, oh, she ain't getting nothing to drink. She ain't getting nothing to drink. Like, you need people like that, and people will support the decision that you make, instead of saying, why you ain't drinking, why you ain't this. It's something that I'm doing with God, and I felt God's approval and joy of me in that moment, because I was aware of something that it was like, it was oh my God, it was so easy to do, something that I thought that would be so hard. Now it's been hard, like when I've had my down moments, like, I just need me a glass of wine and watch me some Scandal or something like that. But no, it's pushed me into, okay, God, what are you trying to tell me in this moment? And I've seen, in 2024 ain't even really started yet, and I'm seeing this change. So to your point, man, we got to make the decision. We have
and it has to be followed with proper corresponding action, because if it's not followed with proper corresponding action, it's not a decision, it's just a statement. It doesn't become a decision until you put the proper action with it that makes the change come, that makes the decision a decision. Decision is deciding, which means I'm separating myself from something into something else. So if I don't fully separate, I really hadn't made a decision. I just said something that sounded good.
Desiree, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk? Because I ain't giving no more examples.
But I mean, that's good. Because I'm saying you said it. You made it. What I'm saying is, it was a valid decision because you walked it out.
No, it's
it
good.
wouldn't have been a decision if you hadn't walked it out. It just would have been
plain.
something good that you had said.
You making it plain because listen, because there's some more decisions I gotta make.
Yeah, that has proper actions.
Listen.
I get it. Me too. Me too.
And this is what I love about you. You don't just keep it real, but you're so transparent to the point where it's like so freeing. And so I'm gonna get to this because I didn't know when I was gonna tell you this, but
oh Lord,
I'm gonna get to this. No, it's
now
good.
I'm nervous.
It's good.
What is it?
Because what I do is I research people and I watch.
Okay.
Like I really watch. I've been watching you.
Okay.
Talk. And I
I've
just
been
told Desiree.
Watching you. Okay.
Okay.
So very long.
Yeah.
Come on, girl.
Oh, I'm there with you. That was Lynn, y'all. That was Lynn.
What I tell you, flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you.
Come
Okay,
on.
I'm back.
That was Lynn, y'all.
I'm back.
Listen, folks think like she's a pastor, y'all. Like, so I don't know y'all pastor. Maybe they too stuck up for that,
but she's a
anyway,
person.
She tell you, listen, this is what I'm getting at. She tell y'all that, at the Purpose Church that she is a whole human being. You is not gonna try her, okay? One thing I observed about you in going to visiting your services, and if y'all in Birmingham, please feel free, do yourself a favor, okay? It's 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is the time they pray, they start praying and stuff like that. And they thank you for being timely and not having folks.
You know, I
in
don't
church
play
all
by
day.
that.
And
Dear pastors, please do not have your folks in church all day. Okay, thank you. Anyway. Golly. But anyway, so one of the things I've noticed, I've been able to visit your church twice physically. Okay. And one of the pattern that I see is that y'all are consistently TPC. And what I mean by that is sometimes as leaders, we can negate the people that have committed to the program, committed to the organization, and focus so much on getting more. I see the opposite with you. Like, you real deal are like, hey, partners, this is a partner. If you're a partner, stand up and say this. If you're a partner, you are heavy on the partner. And if you're a partner, then you get I almost spoke in tongues, so I know this is God. You get the benefit of being a partner. Yeah. So you don't negate fellowshipping with the visitors, because I felt good. I always feel good, coming in the doors of TPC. But how did you, as a leader, especially a pastor, how did you learn how to appreciate and uphold the partners and show love to the visitors? Because sometimes folks be missing. Like, they be so, the visitors this and the visitors that, and then it'd be something else when you go into partnership. But what I see and what Desiree has shared with me is that how you invested in the partnership was the reason why she converted.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. She gonna have to share that with me. But really what I'm doing is, before I was pastored, I was a leader. So I'm appreciating the me that wasn't appreciated in seasons that I served other leaders. That's really what I'm doing. So, that's why some things that show up in my church, I know it ain't my harvest, because I know what kind of servant I was, and I know how my heart was towards the people that I served when I was serving them. So when I see something foreign show up, I know that don't belong to me. That ain't my harvest, because when I served, I didn't desire a platform. You know what I'm saying? I showed up. I didn't have to be in front. You know what I mean? I worked the background. I did whatever. I cleaned bathrooms. I did whatever. Nobody even knew half of the time that I cleaned. I remember my pastor showing up one time early, didn't know that I came early to clean up the bathrooms. They didn't know how it was being done. I was doing it. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the me that wasn't appreciated in past seasons when I served. So, that's why I'm so heavy on partnership. I love new people. Of course, we want new people. Of course, God's sending people. I love my visitors, but my partners are invested in my vision. And anybody that invests should be given a greater portion. All right. Now, when you come in, because I've even gotten to the point now, and this is a new thing that I do, I don't counsel unless you're a partner. I used to, would talk to people, here and there. Because I'm just not going to speak in jurisdictions that haven't been given to me. because I've just learned to just be safe. You know, I'm not going to talk to nobody else's sheep. I'm not going to talk to nobody else who flow in between people. And it's not that I won't talk to anybody. But I said I'm finna really protect myself. Protect myself. And I'm not going to let everybody outside the fold drain me, that when people in the fold need me, I got nothing for them.
My God.
And so that's why I'm so heavy on that. There's a huge difference. A visitor is a visitor. They're shopping. But partners have invested in me. And so I invest in them.
Man, you just freed a lot of leaders with what you just said. You also said something that I want to highlight, that you appreciate the portion of you that was unappreciated.
Yeah.
And we call this church hurt thing. It's real. It's very real.
It is real.
And so to the person, because I was once, I literally just found my tribe.
Okay.
I think I've been not even a full year yet. Shout out to PG. Shout out to PC. I love y'all. Y'all my people. I literally just found my tribe, but I was telling people I'm not doing this church thing. And I was PK. I said, I'm not finna do this church thing no more. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to my daddy. I love my daddy. But I said I wasn't doing this church thing no more. Like, cause the last one hurt me to my core.
I get it.
Because the same way you said you was out scrubbing toilets and stuff, I can identify, and I want somebody to lie and say I didn't. I want somebody to lie and say I didn't, okay? Because I got receipts, okay? But I'm healed from that. But I'm just saying, like, I was broken, so broken that I couldn't see beyond the church and just didn't understand that my assignment was up where I was.
Yeah.
And so, like, what do you say to people that have experienced that? How do they get beyond that point?
Never confuse people with God. And that's where we make our mistake at. Sometimes we define God through people that claim they know him or serve him. And that's where we mess up at, and we're human. So, even as leaders, we make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? We do things wrong. We miss God, and all of that kind of stuff, and it's funny because we're coming off the heels of Desiree could tell you this, off the heels of a great leadership meeting today.
Yeah.
And I hammer. I'm not going to let you make me a celebrity. I'm not going to let you make me your God. Even when people come to this church and I sense that what they about is trying to get close to me, I pray them away. You know why? Because I should not be your object of affection. God should be. Okay? So I know how dangerous that is. Okay? And I believe this. Every leader needs a Nathan. Every leader needs a Nathan. Every leader needs a Nathan. Every leader needs somebody that smells like sheep that they can hear from. I will stand on that to my dying day. And I know people say, I don't counsel down. I don't. Listen, when you become a leader, your viewpoint changes.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
You see from leader view. You don't see from sheep view. And you need to have somebody that's in the fold that got your back, your heart, and you can hear from. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I would say this, don't give up on God because somebody that said they love God mistreated you.
That's so good.
You know what I'm saying? That's number one. And the Bible says, I will give you a pastor. That's personal. Don't let your pastor be because that's your mama pastor, or because that's where you've been all your life, or because that's some familiar place. Let God give you a pastor. You know what I'm saying? Don't you even choose your own pastor.
That's so good.
You let God lead you. And that don't mean that pastor won't ever hurt you. That don't mean that pastor won't ever disappoint you. But God will reveal the heart of your leader to you. I tell everybody, don't follow me if God has not shown you my heart. Right? Yeah. Because that's the thing. That's the thing that sets us apart. I may not do everything right, but when you get a revelation that the intent of my heart is pure, you'll be able to rock with me when my method may not be the best, because you know my heart. And my heart has been proven to you time and time and time and time and time again. But then we as leaders, and I say leaders because I am one, even though I don't do this, we can be abusive. We could take ownership. We could be the Moses that hit the rock instead of spoke to the rock. Moses hit the rock because at that moment, Moses took ownership of what didn't belong to him. And he thought, because I keep standing in the gap for y'all, God would have been got y'all if I hadn't been praying and asking God. Then I know that's how he was.
Wow.
He was tired. He was irritated. He was frustrated, but he forgot these people are not yours.
Yeah.
I just gave you stewardship over them.
My God.
And that's what we have to do as leaders. But I would say don't leave God because of people. And you may have to take a break away. I know people don't want to tell you that, but you may have to take a break away and reassess.
Yeah.
And you got to also admit where you went wrong at.
Yeah.
Because if somebody hurt you that bad, there's probably a level of access you granted that you never should have granted. So you just got to be careful. And one thing about God, warning always comes. And we cannot let our love for people override God's voice. He'll be telling us, don't do that, don't do that, don't. But we can love people so much. The Bible said love hides a multitude of faults. And it's only when we fall out of love that we see clearly sometimes. And so we have to be careful that we let God be the one who guides us when we're moving at the pace of our heart. Right? Because most servants have huge hearts.
Man.
And you have to watch that you don't let somebody abuse your heart. You know what I'm saying? Because of who you are and what you do and the level of service that you get. So, yeah, I would say take a break. Let God heal you, and then ask God to show you your pastor. Everybody need a pastor.
Ooh.
Everybody. Ask God to show you your pastor.
Everybody. You brought something up of the heart, and I was going to go somewhere, but I'm going to bring this up. The Bible talks about guarding your heart. How do you know when you're guarding your heart versus having a wall up?
That's a thin line. That's a very, 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 very thin line. Like, for instance, my best friend. Who now? My best friend. Prior to her, I was done with friendship. I was done with friendship. God had to tell me that was my friend. Because he knew if he didn't tell me, I wasn't going to ever open myself up to be friends with nobody ever again. All right? And I remember vividly, this is before we became, me and Pauletta, before we became the level of friends that we are. I was going to do a retreat for her. We knew each other, from school, miles, and then we just knew each other. We had a lot of mutual friends and stuff. And so we knew each other, but we weren't friends like that. And I was going to do a retreat for her. And on my way to retreat, I remember I was getting out of the car, my older sister, and I heard the Lord say, that's your friend. I looked at my older sister and I said, the Lord just told me that she was my friend. He knew he had to tell me because I never would have opened my heart. Let God lead you to people. You can't be led by your heart. Because sometimes your heart make decisions that your head should have made, not your heart. Hence is how we end up in relationships that we shouldn't be, because we heart motivated. Your heart is the place you think, feel, and choose. All right? That's the place you think, feel, and choose from. And you got to put your head in there because your head sees the bigger picture. Okay? So I say that let God be your guide. And let peace, my old pastor used to say that, let peace be your guide. If you got any inkling inside of you where your peace ain't completely sure, don't do it. Let your peace be your God. That's the thing. And God will tell you that's your person. Sometimes God will tell you people your person that you like, but this is the problem. We think we got to like everybody that we get a deposit from.
My God.
Everybody that God called me to get a deposit from ain't necessarily somebody I got to like or be friends with.
Right.
But they may have something inside of them that I need to take me to the next level. I always ask people, what if God put what you needed inside of a person you don't like? And you will miss it because you're too busy clouded by the person's personality.
Right.
That you can't tap into what they got or that can get you where you need to go. Because everybody in a friendship, some things just an exchange. And move on. And sometimes that's what we do. We try to make relationships out of exchanges. There's a difference. So I say that just let God be your guide. That's how you going to know. Because sometimes God gonna have to ease you into stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have to take baby steps, especially when you've been hurt a lot.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to take baby steps. And people who enter your life, consistency is the thing. Look for consistency.
Oh,
That's the mark of God right there.
my God.
Is consistency. Consistency,
So good.
consistency, consistency. Is that person consistent? Right? And that's the most important thing, I would say. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it answered that question. Like, I feel like I'm at a buffet. Like, this whole conversation is like a buffet. So I do want to go here because it's a lot of parts that you have said that's going to get me to my next question. And with you being an open book, I think this is a safe space. We pride ourselves on being a safe space because people really deal with things and they haven't addressed it. And so I know that in building the church, congratulations. Like, for
Thank
one,
you.
I knew that was a whole process.
What?
A whole process. I loved it when you know, your whole idea about raising $100 for the chairs. I just enjoyed watching your process.
Wow.
A part of your process of building this building allowed a level of healing with you and your father.
Yes.
Can you expound on that and what that has done for you? Because he was sitting right there in the front pew.
No,
at
you
the
don't
church.
understand. You don't understand that I'm sitting right here with you and I am 47 years old. All right. And never in my life has Andrew, who I'm named after, Andrea,
Wow.
ever showed up for me in the capacity that he has shown up for me in this last year. You know, I was raised by my grandparents. You know, those you know my story. My mom died when I was 6 months old. My mom and dad were married when my mom died. My sister was 4. I was 6 months. My dad was young, 24. My mom was 24 when she died. And so my grandparents got custody, you know, took custody of us or whatever. So I always knew my dad. My dad always, you know, came around here and there, but it was never what I want. You got to understand, I'm a young girl who has no memory of her mom, nothing but what people are telling me. So everything about my mom has been pieced together conversations from people who knew her. All right. So the person that I formed in my mind of who my mom is, none of it came from me. All of it came from pieces of what somebody else said or their experiences. So, you know, me not having my mom, I longed even the more for this type of relationship with my dad. And it's so funny because I'm so much like my dad, so nonchalant, so like whatever, so chill. That's my dad all day long. Okay. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Like it's crazy. And it's because of the proximity of the church is nowhere from him. And he just started showing up.
Wow.
Throughout the whole process. I wouldn't even be there. And somebody like, your daddy came by today. Your daddy came by today. Your dad, and I'm just like, I want you to understand. Let me say this before I say that. I did not want to be where we are. Because it's too close in proximity to everything that tried to break me. Ooh. I grew up literally right down the street. I did not want to be there. I did not want to be in that zip code. I did not want to be back out there. All right. I did everything to try not to be out there. I looked for land everywhere to build. Okay. But then my realtor called and was like, hey, look at this building that it went out there. I knew it was the building when I walked in it. Even though I was just like, I do not want to be. Okay, let's begin there. Yeah. So God takes me back.
Wow.
All right. And so I end up just right down the street, literally from where my dad lives. So he just started coming every day throughout the whole entire process, just showing up. Just showing up. I want you to know my dad never heard me preach.
Wow.
Never heard me sing. Never heard me do nothing I do until now. I really wish I could sit down and ask him, like, what do you think? Yeah. Sitting over there watching me. What's going on? I would love to get in his head. Like what, you know. And the way he has shown up for me, the consistency, the checking on me, the calling. And see, you know, and what people don't know now is we really all each other have. My older sister is gone. My younger sister is gone. It's just me. I'm the only one left. All right. So it's like we have all we all we got. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to tell you, it's amazing how this has transpired,
Mm.
which has everything to do when I say to you, whoever gets me next gets a different version of me, right? Because every other version of me, the little girl, was never healed.
That part. And I love that you said that, because there is where I want to go, because a lot of people don't realize they lead from the little girl or the little boy versus leading from where they are. So now it's like you feel different because a part of you that has always been broken is now healed. Now I don't need validation from you. Not only do I have my Heavenly Father, which you had understanding, but for God to provide you healing on this side with your Father.
And it's not that it's not that I hadn't healed some.
Yeah.
But it's not until sometimes something show up that you realize that what you thought you was completely over, you really not. Right? And I started seeing the giddiness when I would get the calls that said, your dad here.
Oh, this about to make me
I started seeing who there? My shoulders start stretching out. My chest start going out, because everybody in this world can call me great, but my daddy think I'm great, right? And it's something about the affirmation of a father in a child's life that just sets a different presence. It's the thing, Jess, I didn't even know I needed. It's the thing at 47 that I didn't even know I needed. My struggle with even receiving love in relationships was connected to because I had taught myself that I need certain things. I taught myself that what was normal, I taught myself that what was abnormal was normal. So I always struggle with affection, because I taught myself, I don't need that, I don't need no husband, because I didn't have it. And sometimes what we grow up with a deficit in, we teach ourselves to live without it. Man. But that don't mean it's normal, right?
Yeah.
And I just said in the leadership meeting today, I said, I'm trying to tell y'all, when I get married the next time, baby, he going to be tired of me. And that's going to be a new thing. That ain't never happened. I always be like, stop them. No, I'm going to be like, come here, because I'm different. There's a part of me that I didn't even know that needed to be finished, because I had so learned how to live without it.
Ooh.
That when it showed up and healing started happening so organically, like, right? Then he joined the church. Then he called me and said, I want to be a partner, was his exact words. I want to be a partner. I want to be a partner. And I was like, okay. He's like, I got to figure out what I want to do and what y'all don't understand. Y'all do not understand. Like, this is crazy. And the process that I went through with this renovation project was HELL. But I tell people, the glory. I did not know at the end of it, something that I was in the tent and was laughing about like Sarah, that I had changed my petition. I wasn't even asking God for that no more.
Wow.
Right? I need you to understand the relationship I desired with my daddy wasn't even in my prayer request no more. I took that out. I was in the tent. Right? I'm laughing like, whatever. I don't even need that no more. I had taught myself that I didn't need that no more. But at the end of this process, all the hell I went through to walk into that was like payback, recompense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I didn't even know I needed it. I didn't even know that I needed it. And I said to my dad, the way you have shown up for me is healed places in me. It has. It has. It has been the most powerful experience. It has. It has. Yeah. I've always loved him. Always. I've always had a great love for him. So, and just for him to be, it's crazy, man.
It shows
we
how
talk
strong
so much,
you are, though,
and it's just crazy.
It shows how strong you are, because you had to be willing.
Oh, yeah.
At some point to say, okay, God, I see what you're doing. and be vulnerable. That vulnerability piece for for strong people, like they're like, hey, this is freeing me.
Think about it, Jess. I lost so much.
Yeah.
When you take the losses that I've taken, you understand what matters. And so when my dad showed up, I had already experienced one of the great. I experienced many losses, but the greatest loss, that I had ever experienced. And it changed me. It changed my whole perspective on life. I'm in it don't matter because it just don't matter.
Yeah.
So he showed up right in that space where every other time that you never showed up, or every other time you told me you was coming and you didn't show up, every time I sat out on the porch with my bag packed and waited for you and you never came, my grandma would come outside and say, he ain't coming. And I would be like, yes, he is. Yes, he is. And she shut the door and she went argue. She come back. It done got dark now. You still ain't came. You still ain't called. You ain't said nothing. None of that mattered. None of that mattered, because at this season, when I needed you, you showed up. And it was pay for every time you did. And I ain't even finna remind you about when you did. Because it really don't matter.
It does not matter.
It don't.
Ooh.
It don't. It don't matter. I'm seizing these moments because I understand how precious moments are. And sometimes we can get so caught up in stuff that don't matter and miss moments. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not.
Man, you just, I could sit here and just like talk to you all day. I really could. Like, this is such a reward just to be able just to kind of like communicate with you on this way. Cause it's like, yeah, I know we're on the platform in front of these cameras, but it's just like, just you, like, you're so dope. Like,
thank you.
You're so dope. And just like, you free a lot of, just your presence frees a lot of people, but especially a lot of women, because women of your caliber, like women of your status, a pastor, entrepreneur, you're doing multiple things, you're excelling in multiple things and areas, and to be so grounded and you can come back down and just say, hey, let me have this conversation. Let me have a heart. I've been this, I've been that, I've been there, I've been broken, and I'm still going through healing, I'm still experiencing this. And you can talk about it, and you work towards talking about it freely. Like that's motivation that somebody like me, I know Desiree appreciates you, because baby, we talk about you all the time. Like, you're the reward.
Oh man, that's powerful.
You are the reward. And I like to speak that and let you know that every encounter that I've had with you,
yep.
Who cutting onions?
Who cutting onions? Yep.
Nope. Not today.
I mean, you know, I've been crying already. So
I know, like, she didn't reverse psychology me on the show. Like, but she got that's your anointing. But like, literally, anytime I experience you,
wow,
it's the answer that I need. And I just want to thank you, man. Like,
no,
you don't
thank you for having me.
But you
have amazing pastors, by the way.
I
too.
do. My pastors are so oily, man. I love my pastors.
I really like them. Yeah.
Man, but they regard you. They, they can't wait to meet you. You
wow.
know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that happens.
Okay, let's make it happen.
But you that chick, man. And
wow.
I very much so look up to you. I have to say that very loud. I'm proud to say that
thank you.
I'm grateful to have encountered you on this side. And
my
so
God.
I want to say thank you, but I also want to give you a moment. I give people a last thought moments.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you had a final thought, if you had one thing to leave with the listeners, what would it be?
I mean, I'm telling, while you're talking and you're literally saying to me, you are the reward. This is what I'm hearing. Don't let any hurt or anything you've experienced in your past stop you from allowing somebody else to experience the blessing of you. When I said I'm a whole blessing.
Yeah.
Right? And that I say that to you, whoever listening, you are a whole blessing. And it is wrong for you to withhold withhold somebody from the experience of you, whether it be relationship, whether it be church membership, whether it be friendship. It's the plan and the plot of the enemy to stop you from forming ships. Because whenever you form a ship, people's lives are elevated to another level because they experience the blessing of who you are. So I would tell all the listeners and you, no matter what kind of hurt you've experienced, don't allow it to keep you from allowing the person that God has assigned, or persons that God has assigned to your life, to experience the blessing of who you are.
Amazing. I want to thank you so much for your presence on this platform. This cannot be the last time. I just feel like there's more, because I know you're going to be doing a lot of things, and you're forever welcome here. Like,
thank you.
Forever welcome here. Y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed it, because, baby, that's it. This for today. That's it. And so we think you're going to follow her. Like, she gave you enough to go follow her. Go get the book. Mark is out right now. Okay, we're going to make sure we link that. And baby, if you in Birmingham on a Sunday,
come on,
at the 10 a.m., the Purpose Church is where you might want to be, because I can't say you, because my church too is oily. So whatever you do, this is a great option. TPC, I love TPC. You're going to get a good word, good prayer. You're going to go home and be able to eat by 12, okay? Y'all,
doggone right.
Thank you so much, Pastor Gates.
Thank
Until
you.
next week, remember, life could be much more simple if you just ask. See you later.